Hey, welcome to Black Lab Garage. Today I wanted to show you some differences between the Ford 460s, because a lot of people don't realize in 1979 Ford made some changes to the 460. Not just to the block, but they also changed the balance. The block itself, the cylinder got longer, which gave the piston more support when it was at the bottom. That's why they say if you build a stroker engine, to use the 79 and up casting, which will be a D9TE, because it was a truck casting. You can use the earlier castings, but the truck casting with the longer cylinders is stronger. Now, prior to 1979, 460s were all internally balanced. You can see here I've got a flex plate for a 78 and back, and there's no weight on it whatsoever. Now, here's one off of a 79 and up, and you can see the counterweight on it. So while the 460 itself will interchange, from one truck to the next, you've got to keep the flex plate and this piece with each engine. Behind the harmonic balancer on the early model 460s, it just had a round sleeve like this. So 78 and back would have this. Starting in 79, because it went externally balanced, and you can see the D9TE on it. It's a sleeve, but it has that counterweight on it to help balance the engine. These have to stay with each engine, or should I say with the crank for each engine. And speaking of cranks, will the cranks interchange in the blocks? No. It's not that the bearings changed, but because of the balance changing, the counterweights on the crank changed. You cannot put an earlier model crank in the later model block. It will hit the bottoms of the cylinders. Ask me how I learned this. Yeah, I tried it. One other change, although this has nothing to do with the balance, but just something to keep in mind when you're building one, is the cars and trucks had different rods. This is your standard passenger car rod. You see how it's got that just straight cut right there? Now, the truck rod, which is a lot stronger, it has what they call the football bolts in it. But you can see it's not straight cut across right there. There's more meat right there, which makes that rod stronger. Now the caps, the rod caps, are exactly the same. C9AE, because there's the passenger car rod, and there's one off the truck rod. They're exactly the same. The difference is where the rod bolts go. So keep that in mind when you're building a 460 or looking for a 460. You've got to keep the flex plate and the spacer behind the harmonic balancer matched to the engine, or otherwise it'll probably beat you out of the vehicle when you put it in there. The harmonic balancers are the same. They will interchange. There's no counterweight on them, so they will interchange. So I just wanted to make this right fast and show you some differences. And stay tuned, because I'm going to put out a video on how to recurve the Duraspark distributor for your 460. All right.